Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, July 13th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Welcome back to 3 News Now. This is where we give you your top headlines from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. You were able to take advantage of some of that cooler weather that we had here in Northeast Ohio. If you were able to avoid getting stuck in the rain, which I can tell you here in Cleveland, we didn't have that much rain. I was expecting a weekend full of rain. It was pretty windy early on Saturday, but other than that, it was a wonderful weekend weather-wise. So I hope all of you were able to enjoy that. Now you're ready to start off your week, get to your Monday, and find out what's going on here in Northeast Ohio. We do start off with heartbreaking news about a Port Clinton man who passed away within the past couple of weeks. This man was an Army veteran who passed away at the age of 37 from COVID-19. His friends are now hoping that his death can serve as a cautionary tale to people who might not be taking mask wearing seriously, as it is now mandated in several counties throughout the state of Ohio. The man's name was Richard Rose III. He was an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran, and he did not like wearing a mask until he became diagnosed with COVID-19, and by then it was unfortunately too late for him. Richard Rose died on the 4th of July. His friend Nick Conley told us at 3 News this. He said, "For anyone who isn't taking this seriously, just know that this virus can hit anyone at any age and at any health condition." Conley told 3 News that he wasn't aware of any underlying health conditions of Rose. Now, social media posts posted by Rose show that he was very against wearing a mask throughout April, throughout May, throughout the summer, and that he went to Put-in-Bay Island on June 13th and posted about the fact that it wasn't very busy. But then on July 1st, he posted that he had been feeling sick for a few days and he got a COVID-19 test and it did come back positive for COVID-19. He also said that he was disappointed at that time because he had just started a brand new job and quarantining would impact that new job. And then on July 2nd, he posted about being very out of breath and how he just wanted to feel back to normal. And unfortunately, Richard Rose passed away on the 4th of July. Our hearts go out to the family of Richard Rose. Now let's take a look at the numbers for COVID-19 here in the state of Ohio so we can see how things shaped up over the weekend. Yesterday, on Sunday, there were 1,378 new cases reported. We had 3 days in a row of extremely high numbers of new cases reported. If you remember back to Friday, we saw the highest number of new daily cases reported with 1,525 new cases reported on Friday. So yesterday, we saw 1,378 new cases of COVID-19 reported in Ohio, bringing the total here to now 65,592 cases. The presumed recovered number is now at 44,663. So that's about 68% people are presumed recovered out of all the people that we know of that have had COVID-19 in the state of Ohio. Now, of course, experts do say that there are probably more people that have had COVID-19 that we are just not aware of. If you flip that number, that means 32% of COVID-19 cases in the state of Ohio, dating all the way back to March 9th, are active right now. Our positivity rate, the latest numbers released by the Ohio Department of Health, there is a couple-day lag in this, is now 6.7%. The World Health Organization recommends a threshold of a 5% positivity rate. Our 7-day average here in Ohio is at 6%. So this is in line with Governor Meg DeWine and what he's been telling us about the fact that, yes, we are doing more testing, but more tests are coming back positive. So we cannot attribute the surge in cases simply to doing more testing. Yesterday, there were 22 new deaths reported related to COVID-19, bringing the total number of deaths in Ohio to now 3,058. There were 72 new hospitalizations reported yesterday, bringing that total number to now 8,842. And right now there are a total of 954 people in the hospital. That means that 10.8% of the people who have been hospitalized are currently actively in the hospital for COVID-19. Now, this number has been creeping up ever so slightly since we've been looking at the percentage of the people who are currently in the hospital who have been hospitalized. Last week, we started looking at a flat 10% rate. Now we're at 10.8% in terms of the percentage of people hospitalized who have been hospitalized throughout COVID-19 being here in the state of Ohio. Yesterday, we saw 16 new ICU admissions, bringing the total number of ICU admissions to now 2,185, and there are 289 people currently in the ICU. So that's about 30% of all people hospitalized right now are in the ICU related to COVID-19. We do have more sad news to share. Kelly Preston, the actor who was married to John Travolta, has died after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. John Travolta posted in a statement, "Kelly's love and life will always be remembered. I will be taking some time to be there for my children who have lost their mother, so forgive me in advance if you don't hear from us for a while. But please know that I will feel your outpouring of love in the weeks and months ahead as we heal." Kelly Preston was in movies including Jerry Maguire and Twins. Her and John Travolta were married for 28 years. She was 57 years old when she passed away. Her and John Travolta appeared in a couple of films together, including Battlefield Earth in 2000 and Gotti in 2018. That was the most recent film that they appeared in together. They were married in 1991 in Paris after meeting and falling in love on a film set. They did have 3 children together. Of course, one of those children preceded her in death within the past couple of years. Our hearts also go out to the Travolta family at this time. Now, as people are looking at how to keep themselves safe during this time of COVID-19, hand sanitizer is a huge topic of conversation. The FDA has now expanded a list of hand sanitizers that are considered toxic to 59. There are 59 different hand sanitizers on this list that have tested positive for methanol. Now, methanol is a substance that can be toxic when it gets absorbed through your skin, and it can also potentially be deadly if it is ingested. FDA officials are warning that this is particularly dangerous for small children. The symptoms that can occur if you do get poisoning from one of these hand sanitizers include nausea, vomiting, headache, blurred vision, permanent blindness, seizures, coma, or permanent damage to the nervous system, and potentially even death. Now, this list started off with only 9 hand sanitizers that potentially contained methanol, and then they upped that list to include more than a dozen in early July, and now that list is at 59. So a couple of the brands that are on that list with several different products include Andes, Bloomin', Clean Care, and this one particularly targeted toward young people, Hello Kitty by Sanrio hand sanitizer. We do have that full list of 59 hand sanitizers up on WKYC.com and our WKYC app, so make sure you check that out before you're purchasing hand sanitizer. That might be a brand that you're not more familiar with. Cedar Point, as we know, is now open to the public, and they're making changes to procedures for 3 of their roller coasters in order to help people keep the required physical distance at the park. This includes Steel Vengeance, Millennium Force, and Maverick. Park spokesperson Tony Clark said that you'll need a timed access pass to ride either of those 3 rides, and you can pick one up at each ride's entrance. So each access pass has a 1-hour window, and you need to return to access the rides line during that 1-hour window. Remember, Cedar Point is now open to everyone, including season pass holders, one-day ticket holders, and resort guests. We have your full guide to welcome people back on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Other big news today, Washington, D.C.'s football team has officially announced that they are changing the name. They will no longer be going by a name that is considered very offensive to Indigenous people, Native Americans here in the U.S. They made that official today. So 10 days after announcing that they would be reviewing the name, they have now decided that they will no longer go by the name they have gone by for quite some time. I'm not going to say it here because it has been established as offensive, but you all know what it is. It's the Washington, D.C. football team. They're coming up with a new name. They're not going to go by the name that they've been going by for a very long time. The team, in a statement, said that owner Dan Snyder and coach Ron Rivera are working closely to develop a new name and design approach that will enhance the standing of the proud, tradition-rich franchise and inspire sponsors, fans, and community for the next 100 years. The Washington, D.C. football team decided to make this change after pressure from corporate sponsors including FedEx, Pepsi, Bank of America, and Nike. Nike had actually already pulled jerseys featuring the previous name and the logo. So the Washington, D.C. team decided to go ahead and pull the name and the logo, and they will be developing a new name and logo in the coming days, which is expected to come out soon, but no timetable has been set right now. Here in Cleveland, our Major League Baseball team is undergoing a similar review of its name. And we don't have any definite statement here from Cleveland on whether a name change will occur, but there are lots of ideas floating out there. One of the top contenders is the Spiders, which is a throwback to one of the very early teams here in Cleveland. We do have an article up on WKYC.com about that. That's written by our 3 News sports analyst, Ben Axelrod, and we'll have more from him on that in the 5 p.m. What's New show today, so you can hear from him about the case for the Cleveland Spiders being the name of our new Major League Baseball, not new Major League Baseball team, but the new name of our long-standing Major League Baseball team here in Cleveland. That's it for your 3 News Now morning update for Monday, July 13th. I'll be back here at 2 p.m. as soon as we get your updated numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health. Everyone enjoy the rest of your morning. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. I'm Stephanie Haney.